right, moving on to the other types of sedimentary rocks, we have biochemical sedimentary rocks, which I usually call organic sedimentary rocks because that makes more sense to me. They're organic because they came from things that were living. So this is the most abundant type is limestone. Limestone is mostly calcite. Limestone is extremely common. We just talked about limestone when we talked about karst, because limestone, the calcite in limestone can actually dissolve in very slightly acidic water. So that calcite and limestone are what make up a lot of the karst topography that we've been talking about. So very basically, you have animals that have shells. Those animals die, shells pile up on the bottom, makes a thick layer of like crushed up shell sediment. We call that carbonate sediment because it's mostly made up of calcium carbonate. As it sits and gets squished, it goes through that burial and lithification, and then some of that calcium carbonate will precipitate out into the water. It means like comes out in a solid, and then it crystallizes between grains. So it forms this like crystalline limestone. I actually don't have any limestone at home. But really simply, anything that we can see evidence of past life, like shells, or fossils, like fossiliferous limestone, any kind of limestone is going to be a biochemical sedimentary rock. So I have two here. Whoa, I gotta get better at this. So this here is called coquina, and coquina has shells in it. It's really common in Florida. There's actually a fort in Florida that was completely made out of coquina, and they credited it to kind of saving the people inside of it because they could build such thick walls from that, which is crazy. It's kind of crumbly. You can see sand in it. And then this is fossiliferous limestone. That's fun to say. It's got itty little fossils in it. So that's exciting. I love fossils. Fossils are cool. Again, they come back to that snapshot to the past. What did organisms look like? How old are the rocks? What was the paleo environment like? This isn't me because it's not real. It's just a cartoon. And then definitely take a minute. This is only like 2 minutes. Watch that. And a fossil is anything that it doesn't necessarily have to be like the preserved remains. It can be an impression. And we can have impression fossils. I don't know if this is going to show up, but this is an impression fossil of a fish. You can see a little fishy in there. I have tons of plant impression fossils in my classroom. Plants tend to leave impression fossils because there's no bone in them to like turn into stone. So they just kind of leave a mark. Trails, tracks, footprints, those are all considered fossils. Or we can have fossils that actually get replaced by stone. So here is a little shell fossil. And it's like a total shell, but it's a rock. Now it's become fossilized. This little guy is a little bitty sea urchin. That's one of my favorite fossils. It's completely, this is stone. This isn't anything that's actually like still alive. Let's see what else I have. I have some fun ones. This is what, like, normally I'd have my tables covered in fossils and you guys could just walk around and look at them and that would be fun. This is a squid point. So it's like a squid tentacle that got fossilized, and shark tooth that, if you watch the intro, Elliot already showed you. And then this one is my favorite. I like want to get this turned into a necklace or something, but so it's actually like a little piece of a starfish leg. So you can see the little like pieces of the starfish there, and you can see the scales there, which are pretty cool. Another type of fossil is we actually have fossilized wood, which we call petrified wood. So this is a big piece of petrified wood. You can see that the outside looks like bark. You can actually see like the rings in the inside like it were a tree, but it's a rock. There's no actual tree left. All of the pieces of the tree were replaced with minerals. So that's another example of a fossil. This is a really cool, if you have anything like a 3D viewer or anything, if you watch it, you can even just like move your mouse around. This is a 3D fossil hunt and pretty cool. Coal is also an example of a biochemical sedimentary rock or an organic rock because it's made from dead and decaying plant matter. So you have all this like dead stuff and it gets squished together in a swamp. And we talked about that when we were talking about mining and coal mining. So we know that Pennsylvania was at one time a swamp because we have, not only do we have coal, which is organic, but we also have shale, which forms from swamps. So coal is an organic sedimentary rock, and this is a better piece of coquina than the one I just held up and tried to show you. I will be right back with chemical sedimentary rocks.